for three. Won't go. Rebound Bosch. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer.
How's it going, everybody? I'd like to welcome our special guest, Quez, today. Quez, how you doing, my buddy?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
No, not too bad. Not too bad. Hanging in there. It's pretty cold right now where we're at. I'm pretty sure the temperature is 0 today or 1. I think we've gotten up to 1 degree.
Woke up this morning at like 7, and it was -0. How? How is it -0?
I didn't know 0 could be negative.
Exactly. It's a new discovery to me too. It's a new discovery to me too.
I agree. So kind of started off, just kind of we'll let people know like how we met each other. So we went to the same high school, didn't really know each other that well, but I was recollecting on
Smith Compton High School.
Smith Compton High School, yes. So I was recollecting on the thoughts of how I think I met you, and I'm pretty sure it was my senior year, and I was ending basketball practice, and I was having somebody record a video of me getting a dunk in slow-mo. So, back then in high school, had to post videos of my dunks when I could do it because, it's not many people could dunk at high school, that like I played with. We had a couple guys, but for me, I'm getting better. I'm getting more bounce. I'll post a video. So I had him take a video, and I remember looking back in this video after I took it, and then I recall this guy sprinting from the back of the gym to go up and touch the rim and dunk, even though he couldn't dunk. And that person was you.
To be fair, I did grab the rim and hang on it a little bit, to be fair.
But there was no ball. So that's how I vividly remember, though, who you were.
Yeah.
And, time passes. We don't really connect much. And then we graduate high school and we go to college. And at this time, I was preparing to go down to Missouri S&T for engineering school. But I remember that summer and on winter break, played pickup at State Fair Community College in our hometown for a little bit.
Yes.
And we kind of just honestly bonded through bullshit in basketball.
Even though I'm terrible at basketball, but yeah.
I mean, I just remember like always showing up to go like play using my old badge from summer classes to get into the gym to go hoop for free. And you were always there one day or another. I was there and we were just hooping, getting after it. So I definitely think, from there, the relationship kind of like sprouted. It definitely grew. And now I'm pretty sure we go every week talking multiple times a week, whether it's a phone call, FaceTime, something. It could be the most random thing. We could be calling each other.
Yeah. And I'm not mad about it because
I'm not either.
What, 4, 5, almost 6 years now?
6 years, yeah. We've been through a lot. We've done a lot. We've seen a lot. We've been through a lot. It's definitely been a journey.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
Yeah, I know. And then actually between the time of State Fair, though, I remember vividly meeting you again was I got convinced before basketball season to show up to a football practice and try out for the football team. Never played football in my life. Never played. I'm coming in, kid just throwing on soccer cleats. Everybody in the locker room's like, "Oh, I know this kid played basketball, but he can't play football." And I'm like, I'm just here because coach asked me to come.
I was one of those people.
And we ended up sharing a locker together for the training camp. And Coach Franklin was like, "You got any gloves?" And I was like, "Coach, I ain't never played football. Like, I'm just here." And then I remember you going, "Hey, I got a couple pair of gloves for you." You just brought out, you said, "What color you want?" And you had yellow, you had black, you had white.
I got yellow. What you need? What you need?
And I remember from then on out,
you
let me borrow your gloves like you were a plug and just let me get into football practice. And then just decided it was too late for me. I didn't have a shot. I ain't never played. It just wasn't worth it. So I just quietly after that camp stepped back onto the basketball court and left from there.
And I retired from basketball my 8th grade year after a phenomenal season of me having one whole point, 2 rebounds, 2 blocks, and a steal.
Stat sheet stuffer.
Hey, I'm just saying that's a Hall of Fame career to me.
Hey, you even came out of retirement for football, playing semi-pro, up in the
Yeah,
city of Kansas City.
I still do. Plan on playing this year for the First City Calvary. Shout out to them. And yeah, I love the sport of football. I loved football, still do. Loved track. Don't really love it anymore because that's a lot of running that I don't do anymore. And basketball, I can say I tried.
Yeah, for sure. No, definitely. And you coach a little bit of football too here and there, right? Back at Smith Cotton.
I coached the defensive backs and helped with film at Smith Cotton High School here in Sedalia. And yeah, I've been doing that for 3 years. I think I'm going into year 3. Yeah, I'm going into year 3 now. So it's been a pretty fun ride just to give back to the community here and watch some of the kids that watched me play when I was a senior eons ago. Help them and see them grow into seniors themselves or high schoolers now. So
yeah,
pretty exciting. Pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, to be able to give back in that situation. I know before I moved up here to Kansas City, I ended up helping coach the 6th grade boys team that wasn't technically an official associated team with the school, but Coach Thomas at the time had asked me to, former basketball coach at Smith Cotton, asked me to coach these kids, and ended up taking the time out of my senior year in college when I could, practicing 2 days a week, taking these kids to tournaments, teaching them the game of basketball. And I definitely feel like it was a good feeling, even though we didn't, we won some games and some tournaments, but then the bigger tournaments, obviously we didn't compete as well. But being able to step back into the grounds of where like you grew up and like helping like people like that and like helping younger kids like understand the game that you love too. I think it's got a different feeling regarding like that and like what happens with it.
Yeah, because I can definitely remember my senior year of high school throwing a football in the street with my little cousin, and now he's about to be a whole freshman in high school playing football. So full circle, So not too mad about it, not too upset about it. I enjoy giving back and I enjoy teaching and making impacts on that period in their life from high school to young adulthood.
Yeah, for sure. So let's jump into the next topic. We have the NFL quarterback market.
Lord.
It's a wild story this year. I think there's obviously a lot of quarterbacks that are been swirling around the pot, might be leaving. It's definitely a year of the quarterback, I feel like, regarding the NFL draft and free agency or trades. You look at some of the potential candidates I wrote down to look. We have Jimmy Garoppolo. Recently, Russell Wilson has been added to a list of possible trades because he is unhappy with taking a beating from the O-line in Seattle. Deshaun Watson unhappiness in Houston. Carson Wentz in the Jalen Hurts saga in Philadelphia. Dak Prescott coming back from a broken ankle with no contract extension that happened with Dallas. You also have the Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, etc. quarterback draft. And also you have other small play quarterbacks such as free agent Cam Newton. You have Sam Darnold that possibly could be traded out of New York. So give me your take on the quarterback market.
This year is definitely a year to go get a young guy, whether it's through free agency or whether it's through the draft. We can bring up last year, the Patriots, they had Tom Brady their whole entire, his whole entire career, 20 years of playing.
I think technically 19, right? Because 20 would have been this season, I think.
Yeah. So almost 20 years of being a part of an organization and then going to a new team with Tom Brady, going to a whole new team. And you saw it with the Patriots this year. They got Cam Newton. They weren't the same. They missed the playoffs for the first time since having Tom Brady, or maybe the second time. But this is definitely the year to draft a quarterback or to sign a quarterback, because the usual suspect teams, your Pittsburghs, your Indianapolises, your New Englands, we saw it this year. The usual suspect guys are getting up there in age. Your Ben Roethlisberger, Philip Rivers. He retired at the end of this season after playing for the Colts and being in San Diego and LA for the longest time. So your usual suspect teams, those guys, they're getting up there in age. So if you're a team like the Steelers or your team like the Colts, you want to look to your future.
I'd say even potentially possibly the Saints as well. I mean,
Saints
we're not knocking Drew Brees, but obviously he's taken a beating this past year. He had a punctured lung, broken ribs.
Yeah. He retired at the end of this season as well.
He might. I don't know. I don't think he's announced yet, but
no, he did. He retired.
He did?
He retired. He announced it before the game against the Bucks. He said, "This is going to be my last game." So, Saints went out and lost to Tampa, and Tom Brady decided, or not Tom Brady, Drew Brees decided to retire at the end of the season, and now they're in a rebuild kind of mode with either Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill. So I mean, it's definitely going to be a interesting look in the NFL within the next couple of years.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think actually it says that Drew Brees is reworking his contract possibly for a return after 2021. Wait, maybe not. Let me check this article here. Maybe not. Saying that Drew Brees tonight will be the last game he plays at the Superdome was transcribed. But obviously, I don't think it's been an official announcement. I think somebody reported it. But regardless, I think that it's a definite pondering question if he's going to return or not. I think a lot of people were considering the Packers when they drafted Jordan Love last year. But then obviously Aaron Rodgers came and proved to them that he still got game. MVP of the
Aaron
NFL.
Rodgers. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers played like a madman this year, and he rightfully earned the NFL MVP because he felt as if he had something to prove. Because going into last year's draft, you expected the Packers to maybe draft a defensive guy or maybe draft some help for Aaron Rodgers, and then boom, all of a sudden you get my potential replacement.
Yeah, like if
I'm definitely gonna play with fire.
If you compare his 2019 numbers to 2020, not too bad, but in 2018, they were kind of saying they thought he was done. He played all 16 games. He had 4,442 yards. How many touchdowns? He had 25 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. I think that's also he got hurt a little bit in that season. I don't know for sure if that was the collarbone.
2018 he got hurt a couple times that year, but he did tough it out.
So then you go to 2020, they think he's done. He needs to get they had stunk it up in the playoffs. And he ends up posting a 4,299 yards, 48 touchdowns with 5 interceptions, and he only took 20 sacks the whole season. 20.
Aaron Rodgers has the Packers have a very, very good offensive line, and David Bakhtiari and Elgton Jenkins, a young man out of Mississippi State. That line is one of the best in the NFL. I would probably put them maybe top 5 in the NFL amongst offensive lines. But yeah, the Packers themselves played very good throughout the regular season, and then ran into Tom Brady, and you really can't bet against Tom ever.
Yeah, I mean, I think we definitely saw, in my opinion, one of the most dominating seasons ever by a quarterback. I think arguably, regular season and postseason run, this is one of Tom Brady's greatest, 43 years old. This man comes into a first year during a pandemic, has no OTAs, no preseason.
No OTAs,
jumps
And-
straight in with a new team, new weapons he's not even dealt with besides Gronk. He brought Gronk in. Other than that, all new guys, new coaching staff, never been the Patriot way. And I think he also was like Aaron Rodgers, came out to prove to people it's not Bill Belichick, it's Tom Brady is what made the success.
That is what I tell some people. It's like, oh, everybody would say Tom Brady's a system quarterback. Tom Brady's a system quarterback, which I was one of those people that thought Tom Brady was a system quarterback. And I didn't think that Tampa would do worth anything in the playoffs this year. I thought they would, obviously they would beat the Washington football team. Obviously, that's a given, which they almost lost to us, but I digress on that. But I thought, Tom Brady, he's not going to be anything without Bill Belichick. And then, boom, out of nowhere at 43, this man plays probably the best football of his career.
Well, not only that, but we saw in the regular season, they got the brakes beat off them by the Saints both times. Then they beat the brakes, obviously, off of Packers, in week. But the Saints had their number both games this year. So I didn't even expect him. When it's Drew Brees, I'm like, it's going to be about Drew Brees. He's coming back. He's going to win,
You can't guard Mike. You have Alvin Kamara. You have that defense that is pretty good. And nothing happened.
I know. It was
Michael Thomas I don't think he has a catch at all that game. Drew Brees throws a couple interceptions that game, and they're dominated. It's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row. I know that I'm about to compare apples to oranges right now, but I was in a similar situation last year. I played a playoff game, the semifinal for our little league championship game, semi-pro. And the team that we met, we beat them twice. We beat them in Kansas City. We beat them in St. Louis. The Missouri Cyclones is the team name. And so we met them in the semis once again. It's hard to beat a team 3 times. We beat them twice in the regular season, but they had our number and they ended up beating us 7-6. It's difficult to beat the same team 3 times in a row. And like I said, the Bucks had the last laugh in the end. And so we'll see. We'll see, because Tom Brady's saying he's going to play until he's 45, and he just might be able to do it. He just might be able to do it.
I think he's already, though, arguably set the debate of it's over. He is the greatest quarterback to ever play in the NFL. Seven Super Bowl rings. He's going to have, now that Drew Brees, if he does quote, retire, Tom Brady's going to have every passing stat, touchdowns, yardage, everything.
Yep.
And then once Tom Brady retires and Aaron Rodgers, it's really going to be the era of new quarterbacks. I mean, you look at all the young talent. You have Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Everybody's hyping up Trevor Lawrence as the greatest NFL quarterback prospect to ever come in through the NFL draft.
Can't forget about Deshaun Watson up there.
Deshaun Watson. You have Russell Wilson is still around. I think there's a lot of guys. Kyler Murray's improving. Tua Tagovailoa. But yeah, definitely it's going to be now, I think the next generation is coming up, and it's going to be all young quarterbacks from after these next couple of seasons.
It will be a tough act to follow because of the simple fact we've had for the longest time, it seems, we've had Ben Roethlisberger every season. We've had Tom Brady every season. We've had Aaron Rodgers every season. We've had Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees. Now those guys are retiring. It's like, okay, what can these young pups do? Because mind you, guys we just listed off, we are not much younger, or they are the same exact age as us.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to be like our parents, be like, oh yeah, I remember watching Patrick Mahomes his rookie year. Or, oh yeah, I remember watching Lamar Jackson his rookie year. That type of thing. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, because you look at the stat, I'm pretty sure they released it like when the divisional round was set with the final 4 teams. The average age in the AFC was for the remaining playoff teams was 25. The oldest player was Baker Mayfield at 26, and for the NFC, which was Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, and
Aaron
Drew
Rodgers.
Brees and Aaron Rodgers, it was like 34 or 35.
Yeah,
so it's definitely becoming a younger game. So with the quarterback situation, obviously we're fans of teams in the NFC least. Washington football team and the Philadelphia Eagles. What does Washington need? What does the football team need to make jumps this year? Obviously, Alex Smith and them, they improved. They proved a lot of people wrong. They came back and won the division. Alex Smith, comeback player of the year. You have first round draft pick Chase Young as your building block. Where do they go from here?
I've asked myself this multiple times, because our defense is phenomenal. We have one of the best defensive lines in the game. We have a sneaky secondary in Kyle Fuller. I think we have Kyle Fuller. I want to say we have Kyle Fuller. One of the Fuller brothers. We have Cameron Curl, Landon Collins, who can still play, who got hurt, but Cameron Curl was his replacement this year, played very well. I think that we just need to address our offensive line. We need a guy who's going to protect whoever the quarterback may be, whether it might be Taylor Heineke, whether it might be Alex Smith, which I pray it's not Alex Smith. Not the fact because Alex Smith is, he's a terrible quarterback, because that's not true at all. Alex Smith is a great quarterback. I honestly feel like he might be in the Hall of Fame one day. That's my hot take. Alex Smith will be a Hall of Famer. Maybe not first ballot, but he will get into the Hall of Fame. But I think that we need to protect our quarterback, whoever it may be. So go out and get a top lineman with the 19th pick, or maybe trade up to get one of the better linemen. I just think offensive line is our main focus, because of the simple fact that this year's draft class is so quarterback heavy. You can get a guy in the second round who's a first rounder. You can get a guy in the third round who's a second rounder. I don't think we need to shoot our load. Pause. I don't think we need to go all out with our first pick and saying, oh, we need a quarterback, or we need a wide receiver. Everybody relax. Let's address the O-line and build around our quarterback, whoever it might be.
Yeah, I know that they just re-signed Taylor Heineke to a 2-year deal. I think it was
2 years, $8.35 million.
8.35. So, and not only that, like you said, quarterback heavy. This wide receiver draft is also very, very heavy, I feel like. I mean, obviously the first round has a lot of guys mentioned that could possibly, take that spot. And I think that, teams shouldn't rush with that. There's a lot of guys, like in my opinion, I think that the Eagles need to address wide receivers. And I think we need to figure out the overall quarterback situation, because, people are determining whether Carson Wentz is still the future or if Jalen Hurts is, now that Doug Peterson is out. And, we have a new head coach, the guy from the Colts. I can't remember what his name is. What is his name?
My thing
here. Nick Sirianni, who was like a part of our Super Bowl championship staff and then was the offensive coordinator for the Colts with Frank Wright. I don't know.
Yes, the one that fumbled the interview.
Yes, that fumbled the interview. Very bad first impression, in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, I think our defense is not bad, but I think we need to address cornerbacks and safeties as well. You know, we lost Malcolm Jenkins last year. We were able to trade, though, for Darius Slay, which I think was a great pickup, but I think we need to have somebody across from him on the opposite side of the field that can help shut down wide receivers, because Darius Slay is our number one cornerback. And if he's matching up against DK, you know, Metcalf, Devontae Adams, you know, Michael Thomas, you got to have somebody else that's going to be able to at least help shut down the other threats, because you're going to have to man cover them. You can't let them go into a zone. Like, you're going to have to try to let them beat you one-on-one. And so I don't know. I think, you know, with that, you know, we still have some defensive pieces. I think, you know, we've got Brandon Graham, we got Fletcher Cox still. Also, on the offensive side, Jason Peters was returned, but I think we need to get younger in the offensive line. We were kind of hurt this year. Lane Johnson was out. Jason Kelsey was kind of banged up a little bit. We were throwing a lot of different guys in, and with our receivers, you know, Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson haven't been healthy at all the past 2 years. So we've been definitely going with training camp guys or, you know, practice squad guys. I like, you know, Full Game. I like him. I think.
Don't you guys still have Ward from
Greg Ward? I think he was all right. Greg Ward Jr. wasn't bad. JJ Arcega-Whiteside was a disappointment draft pick. Didn't like that. Along with, I don't know, Jalen Reagor, still up in the air for me. I honestly am mad that we didn't draft Justin Jefferson. But regarding the draft though with the Eagles, there's a lot of, like you said, quarterbacks, but same with wide receivers. I mean, in my opinion, you know, obviously the Eagles had the 6th pick, so I would be hopefully taking Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, or Devontae Smith, Heisman Trophy winner. Somebody that can be a playmaker and be a number one, but obviously at the same time, like you said, I don't think we have to jump to that. I think we could find a good one in free agency. Obviously, I think Allen Robinson is going to be a free agent.
Juju, I'm pretty sure he's a
free agent. Some other guys. So I don't know. I think we need to figure out the quarterback situation first and then pick our offensive weapons based on who the quarterback's going to be.
Now, with the Eagles quarterback situation, I like Carson Wentz. Me personally, I like Carson Wentz. I don't think he's a horrible quarterback. I think he's actually really good. I just think his biggest problem is he can't stay healthy. That is honestly his only knock, that everyone's like, oh, Carson Wentz is bad. Carson Wentz is bad. You can't call somebody bad just because they can't stay healthy. We're gonna call Greg Oden bad because he couldn't stay healthy when we all knew that he was a freaking monster coming out of Ohio State.
Not really. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
I mean, we're not gonna, you know, obviously they may not live up to their potential of what they could have been, but they can still produce. Like, in my opinion, people obviously, yes, Carson Wentz had a down year. I will tell you that. But what was more impressive was last year with nobody as well. He put up similar numbers to his MVP run. I mean, you look at it, he had 388 completions out of 607 attempts, 64% completion percentage. He threw his most yards in his career, 4,039, 27 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. And the year that he would have won MVP, we won the Super Bowl, was in 2017. He had 3,296 yards, 33 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, and he only played 13 games that year because of the injury. But, I mean, you know, obviously, yes, a decline in numbers this year, but he was banged up. He only played 12 games. Then Doug Pearson's benching, trying to decide who's and what. I just think mentally he is drained. I think his mental health is what's putting him down right now. I don't think he's mentally in the game. I've heard people say that at the locker room, he just isn't what people think or they want him to be as a leader and the quarterback. I think that's kind of sat people the wrong way. But I hope even if he's not an Eagle, he has success. So, like, I've heard of situations such as Indianapolis. I think he could thrive there. I think maybe Bill Belichick gets a hold of him. Maybe Bill Belichick can revive his career. I think he needs a change of scenery, in my opinion. I hate to say that, but, you know, I think for him to be the quarterback that he was and the guy he was looked at coming out of college, I think that he definitely needed to change the scenery.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. And Philly's football fan base it's brutal. You know,
We're called the city of brotherly love, but I don't agree with
no,
that. I think we're a lot harder on
no.
our organization than what people like to think.
Yeah, I think I compare Philadelphia Eagle fans to New York Knicks fans. It's like, yes, we know that we're good. Yes, we know that we have the pieces to be good, but why the hell aren't we good? Type of situation.
I feel like we're living in the past.
Yeah,
that too. I mean, obviously, we had the Super Bowl run with Nick Foles was incredible. Brought our first ring ever. I'm always grateful for that. But I think we're living in the past of Randall Cunningham, Donovan McNabb, Brian Westbrook, Brian Dawkins. Not only that, and I love Doug Pearson. He brought the first ever ring, so I give him props. No bad love there. But seeing Andy Reid get that success now after being in Philly for 20 years and then goes to Kansas City, gets his quarterback, gets the offense, runs it the way he wants, and he's actually having success. He's been to 2 back-to-back Super Bowls now with the Chiefs, and he's only been there for I think, 4 or 5 years. 5 years probably now.
Yeah, give or take. Yeah, probably 5, I think.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just what's crazy is like he's having more success in less amount of time with doing what he wants. And I think our ownership kind of ruined that for Andy. I think, he got to do what he wanted for a while, and then like, this is not your vision anymore.
I honestly think the downfall of Andy Reid and the Philadelphia Eagles was when McNabb and T.O. were there. Because, I mean, we all know, we're sports fans. Everybody knows that T.O. and McNabb did not like each other, and they still don't like each other. So it's like, I think, with Andy Reid going to Kansas City, it's like, okay, this is a fresh start. I feel like that the Chiefs organization said, hey, this is your team. We're going to let you do what you do because you've been doing this for a very long time. And he got his players, he's got his coaching staff, because regardless, when Eric Bieniemy gets his time, he's going to be great.
I think he also just got the team to buy in.
Yeah, and he's got his guys to buy in because
like those guys don't have personality issues. I think with the Eagles, T.O. and McNabb had personality issues. They're like, who it is. And T.O. is a great wide receiver, but I honestly know T.O. had his own personality. McNabb tried checking him with his own, but like Mahomes is one of the most humble guys ever. Travis Kelce's the number 1 tight end right now in the NFL. He's the most humble guy that you could ever meet the position. Tyreek Hill came out being always an underdog coming out of college at Oklahoma State. So like they're used to being not betted on, and like they've built that repertoire to be a team that they think like, can be good because they're buying and they're willing to sacrifice.
Alabama A&T though.
What?
Tyreek Hill went to Alabama A&T.
I thought it was Oklahoma State.
A&T.
Was he on Oklahoma State then got kicked off? Because I'm pretty sure I thought I heard Skip Bayless talking about the other day. He was at Oklahoma State as a punt returner.
I do not know, but I do know that he did go to, I think, A&T or maybe. No, I'm thinking of Tariq Cohen that went to A&T. I'm thinking of Tariq Cohen. I'm thinking of a different short guy.
Well, it says University of West Alabama.
West Alabama.
Well, okay, so at first he attended Garden City Community College, which is in Kansas.
Hey, Garden City.
Then he jumped to Oklahoma State, and then I think that's when he had the whole allegation issues in college, so then he transferred to West Alabama.
But now he's
top 5 wide receiver, arguably top 10.
Top 10 for sure, maybe top 5.
Yeah, and I'm saying like I think like he's built a name though, but all of those guys have. I mean, Mahomes was a big arm at Texas Tech, but like I don't think really a lot of people knew about him until that Baker Mayfield game, where they both threw like 500 plus yards.
And also like it's the air raid offense. The air raid offense is great in college, but in the NFL it's kind of. But we are seeing success from Cliff Kingsbury, who former Texas Tech head coach and former coach of Patrick Mahomes. It's working in Arizona with Kyler Murray and them. So, I mean, We are definitely in the era of new age quarterbacks, and we are also in the era of new age coaches and new age offenses.
I think it's also very similar to the NBA and the transition from, mid-range and post-game to now you live and die
So
by the
3 point,
three.
yeah,
I think like
exactly.
NFL did the same. You live and die by the deep bomb. Like you either going to make a deep throw and get the catch, or a lot of
You're
guys
gonna
don't
miss
really
it,
make the short plays anymore. I think that's why
right?
guys like Tom Brady and them are appreciated, because Tom Brady doesn't have the biggest arm, but Tom Brady can always make a good check down throw. He's always going to make the slant routes and the out routes that are short 5 to 10 yards. He's going to make them count.
Oh yeah, for sure. And hell, I think this is the best deep ball that we've seen Tom Brady throw this season all year in his whole entire career.
Yeah.
Because he was taking those shots downfield to guys like Scotty Miller, guys like Mike Evans, guys like Chris Godwin, those kind of guys.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's definitely a good time to enjoy NFL football.
For sure. And I think the future's in good hands.
Oh, for sure.
So, to our next topic, obviously, I'm wearing a Duke hoodie for those of the people that are only listening because, the video's not up yet. We're trying to get the video on YouTube soon. But so college basketball. What the hell is up with Blue Bloods this year? We talked about this before us recording this. So go ahead and give me your hot take you wanted to tell me, regarding college basketball and the Blue Bloods.
Again, your usual suspects, your Kentuckys, your Dukes, your Virginias, maybe. I honestly haven't caught a lot of college basketball this year, solely because as Blake, I'm a Duke fan as well, and Duke basketball this year is just abysmal. Oh, it hurts. It hurts being
it's
a Duke
bad,
fan
man.
this year. But
I think it's bad for all Blue Bloods though too. Like I don't think we're the only ones in that boat. Like I think.
Oh yeah, no. Kentucky is down bad. Kentucky's down bad. They were down bad last year, but it's continuing this year. Your Kentuckys, your Dukes, who are your other usual suspect teams that you are expecting to see there every single year?
North Carolina, Duke,
North Carolina,
Kansas, and Kentucky. Those are the Blue Bloods. Those are the Blue Bloods. And then Villanova's like kind of been referred to as a newer Blue Blood just because of the recruiting tactics. But I'm looking right now at the top 25. None of those those 4 Blue Bloods are in the top 25. None of them
at all.
When has that ever happened? I'm pretty sure there's a stat that I'm going to look it up real quick to make sure I'm not pronouncing
misquoting.
Yeah, but Duke and North Carolina ranking, I'm pretty sure this was like the first time since like 2000 and something or 1990 that like Duke and North Carolina like not ranked.
Yeah. 1961 is the first time that Duke, UNC, and Kentucky were all unranked.
Okay, so Duke has been bounced this year from Duke and North Carolina have been not ranked for the first time together since 1982. They have not been in the top 25 together since 1982. They've been every year top 25.
That is,
and now I think we're on the verge of they might not even make the tournament. Like,
hey,
we
NIT
the
baby.
The Blue Bloods might be NIT bound, and it's sad to see that. But I think this pandemic definitely showed, the resilience of more veteran programs and guys who have more 3 to 4 years. Like obviously the 5 stars, the one and dones, I think is obviously an error that we just have to accept because people want to get to where they want to go. But I think with the whole pandemic, having no fans, and not saying fans are a part of everything of reason why college teams win, but having that atmosphere, having the fans, the crowds, like it's kind of like the NBA bubble. You have a lot of unsuspecting guys who play better without, the pressure. They're just there to play,
right. It's like I'm just
I'm looking at this top 25 and you've got some representation from a lot of different schools, but Gonzaga and Baylor are both undefeated. Houston's top 10. Houston hasn't been ranked that long in a while. We're seeing Michigan and Ohio State lead the Big Ten this year. Michigan
seeing
State's not even
Mizzou.
ranked.
Mizzou's playing very good this year.
Yeah, Mizzou is 10th. They're 13-4 on the season. Definitely making a splash in the SEC. They are actually the number one. I think they're based on ranking. They're the highest SEC team ranked, but based on overall record, they are down to 16-5 Alabama. But they actually Mizzou beat Alabama the other night. So Mizzou's making a splash too, man. They might be able to make a tournament run, which I think would be good for Mizzou basketball. I think I like Konzo Martin. He's a very good coach. They've got a lot of, overall mix of blended of talent. It's not, based on just young guns. I think Loyola Chicago is ranked this year so far right now at 22. Rutgers is 25. And, I don't know. I think college basketball is in a different prime right now this year. And I don't know, hopefully it doesn't change for the future. I mean, obviously we want to see those blue bloods back, but I think it's a rejuvenating period for college basketball fans who are not fans of the Dukes, the Kansas, the North Carolinas, the Kentuckys. I think a lot of people are excited because it's so unpredictable this year. Nobody knows who's going to be the national champion. Nobody knows who's going to be in the Final Four. Like, you could take your guess, but anything can happen now this year.
Now with March Madness coming up here and shortly. Oh my goodness, next month is March. Oh wow, it's been flying. But anyway, sorry, had a moment. But with March coming up, with March Madness, I honestly think that Baylor is the most well-rounded team to win it all.
Baylor's your March Madness pick?
I think, yeah.
National champions?
Baylor could mess around and be the national champs this year because I've caught the couple Baylor games I've caught this year. Them boys is cold. I think West Virginia could make an Elite Eight appearance. I watched their game against Mac McClung's Texas Tech the other night, and they're pretty solid as well. So
okay.
I just
I'm gonna have to take the other out. I think we're gonna see Gonzaga's first ever national championship this year. I think it's their first ever national championship since becoming a basketball program.
Really?
Well, they made the Final Four with Adam Morrison back when Adam Morrison was a college dominate, but they didn't win.
When he cried.
They didn't win. Yep, when he cried.
No, yes, of course. Didn't Brad Stevens coach at Gonzaga?
No, he coached at where is Brad? No, Brad Stevens is from Butler.
He was at Butler.
Yeah. But, I mean, you look at Gonzaga's, they say they don't play anybody. They played Kansas this year. They won when Kansas was ranked 102-90. They beat Auburn 90-67. They beat ranked West Virginia 87-82. They played Iowa they said arguably was the best college basketball player in Luka Garza. They beat them 99-88. They also beat Virginia, who is ranked 98-75. Now the rest of their competition is obviously their conference, but they've proved their case by beating a lot of big Power 5 schools for being a low D1 with a conference that is nothing. But Jalen Suggs, potential number 1 pick, he's on Gonzaga, so I'm riding with him. That kid is one of the best athletes and best college basketball players I've seen so far this year. Also pretty crazy to believe that he was a top-ranked quarterback, I think, too, coming out of high school.
Was he?
I'm pretty sure he was a dual threat quarterback. And I don't know what his ranking was, but let's look what it said here real quick. He was good. He had a couple Power 5 offers. He had Iowa, Iowa State, Minnesota, Nebraska, and Ohio State, according to his recruiting activity on ESPN. But
not too bad.
No, not too bad. But I mean, was a good quarterback, but obviously basketball was his better sport. So
right.
But yeah, I don't know. I think Gonzaga, you're taking Baylor. Maybe they'll meet in the Final Four or in the next championship.
That would be a pretty good matchup between them. But Gonzaga's never won, and I think Baylor's never won either. So this could be the year of first.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll jump to our last little segment here. So we're just gonna be a little bit different take, okay? Where it's not sports related, it's a little bit more of the pop culture side.
All right, sounds good.
So you're starting a record label. You get 5 artists for that record label. Who are you taking? Your label to start, 5 artists. That's who your label is gonna be consisted of.
Number one pick, J. Cole.
Okay.
Always like J. Cole. Like I could go on about talking about this man, but I'm not going to. J. Cole would be obviously my number one. JID, he would be another guy I would put on my record label because his flow is ridiculous. Joyner Lucas, he's very good at telling stories. I know some people could, find him, oh, he's corny, but listen to what the man is saying and you'll be hooked. But Joyner Lucas,
I think his real quick side note, I think one of his best music videos that people don't really understand is the I'm Not Racist. I think that's something that people need to definitely watch and understand what's going on in this country. Obviously there's been a lot of shit that's like gone on the past couple years with our most recent run of our old president, Donald Trump. But I think that watching that video doesn't solve issues, but it helps people understand how the opposite thinks. Obviously, it takes the perspective of a white male such as me, who is in the video shown as a Trump supporter, and then it shows a person as a black male. That would be, conversation like we're having, but describing his side and why he's not what people think he is,
Right.
I definitely think it's a touching music video.
Yeah, and so that's why I would have Joyner Lucas on my album, my label as well. I'm gonna go outside of hip hop, and I'm going to pick up Chris Stapleton.
Okay.
Because that man can sing. Chris Stapleton can sing, boy. One of my favorite songs by him is "Broken Halos." But just Chris Stapleton, he's a good one. And last but not least, my number 5, the 5th and final person I would take in the record label that I started up would probably have to be. That's a tough one.
You're putting a lot of anticipation into this pick.
I am. And I'm probably going to let the people down, but that's okay. I'm going to take, last but not least, I'm going to take Black.
Okay.
Another phenomenal storyteller. He can sing, he can rap, he can do it all.
Okay.
So with honorable mentions, my honorable mentions of people that I would take would probably be Justin Timberlake. He would be featured heavily on my album or on the albums that I released from my artists. And I'd probably have to take Justin Timberlake. And who have I been really feeling here recently? Ed Sheeran. Okay. I would take Ed Sheeran as well.
You got a nice little mix of everything here.
Hey.
So I think number 1 pick has to be, obviously I love J. Cole. J. Cole probably a later pick in my draft, but I have to take right now Drake. Drake is just so multidimensional. This man, if I want to do R&B, Drake gonna sing his heart out. If I want to have somebody rap hard, Drake gonna rap his heart out.
Yeah.
This man is the icon of music nowadays. I think with my second pick, I have to get a little bit of soul, a little bit R&B, taking LMA.
Okay.
Or Jhené Aiko, either one of those. Those girls can sing their butts off.
Can't go wrong with either one, yeah.
No, definitely not. And you got to have a little female artistry, make it, a little bit, softer, a little bit smooth, a little bit soulful, sad. Right. I think also I would take my third pick. Who have I been listening to lately? I'd say Chris Brown. Chris Brown's also one of those guys. Man's
staple.
He is one of the greatest artists of all time.
Yeah.
Just the way that he performs, he's a natural performer. He's going to be able to switch up any flow that I want.
And
I'd also
he can rap for you as well.
yeah, for sure. So that's what, 3 right now. My fourth one. I'll have to go with we'll go with Black. Take him. Just steal one off your label, just to if we're in alternate universes for this. But Black definitely I think is a good versatile artist too as well. But I like the way he raps. And so that's 4. And then my 5th, that's a tough one. I'm gonna look here real quick. Let me go through my music library and see if I can see.
See, it's always that last one because you're just like, I don't. You're kind of in a gray area with that last one. That's how I felt.
Yeah, for sure. Like, just like starting off. Okay, I know how I'll take. This is gonna be another little R&B, but Bryson Tiller. I gotta take Pink Griffey. Pink Griffey gotta join the list.
I mean, you might be waiting for him to release music for you for probably about 6-7 years, but it's gonna be he.
He hasn't missed. He hasn't missed.
He don't miss. Here's a list of all his misses. Oh wait, there is none.
So no, both pretty good labels. I think a little bit different of variety. And then the last one. So you got to create a starting 5 of movie athletes, fictional characters that have been athletes.
Starting 5.
So this is how we'll do it though. This one we're gonna actually treat as a draft. So you'll go first, then me. Okay. That way, we're not getting the same characters.
All right. Well, with my first pick in the movie character starting 5, Adonis Creed.
Okay.
It's everybody loves Michael B. Jordan, the GQ sexiest man alive. And plus his performance in Creed was phenomenal. And he kind of looks like he can hoop in real life. So we're going to take Adonis Creed, played by Michael B. Jordan.
Okay. So I'm going to have to go with, we're doing basketball, Jesus Shuttlesworth, a.k.a. Ray Allen, to compete with your basketball starting 5. Obviously, Ray Allen has spoken for itself. I think a lot of people sleep on, though, the movie He Got Game. He Got Game sure. is a iconic movie with him and Denzel Washington. And so I definitely believe that Jesus Shuttlesworth can lead my team to victory. So number 2 pick is yours, sir.
Number 2, I would have to go with Quincy McCall. Love and Basketball.
Okay.
Omar Epps, Omar Epps, he's been able to. Omar Epps has the longest college eligibility in 90s movies for the longest time. He's played football, he's played basketball. He's Omar Epps has done it all when it comes to sports movies. So, but I'm gonna definitely take Quincy McCall from Love and Basketball with my second pick.
Okay. I'm gonna take one here, kind of get you a little bit different. So we're gonna go with Benny the Jet Rodriguez, Sandlot. Iconic character. Sandlot, top sports movie of all time.
For sure.
Definitely on that list.
Number 3 overall. Who would I take 3rd overall? All right. So got my point, and I got my 2 guard. So who's gonna play the 3 for me? We're gonna have to go with this is
well, they don't have to be basketball. It could just be a starting 5 of athletes. So it doesn't have to be
basketball.
I
know.
So I know. Basketball. Yeah.
We're gonna take old Forrest Gump. Okay. Forrest Gump and Tom Hanks. That man, they don't say run, Forrest, run for no reason. Tom Hanks, that's a great performance in Forrest Gump. So he ran across the country. He did it all. And at the end, he was I think I'm gonna go home now, and ran all the way back home.
Okay.
So Forrest Gump would be number 3.
Okay. I'm gonna have to take your one up you here with Willie Beeman from Any Given Sunday with Jamie Foxx.
Yes.
So that is definitely a classic. Loved his role in that. Just shows you the diversity of Jamie Foxx and everything he's been able to do. So
yeah, for sure. He's He's definitely one of a great actor. Number 4, who would be my 4th in my greatest of all time athlete fiction? Who? Paul Crewe.
Okay.
Paul Crewe. Adam
Longest
Sandler's
yard,
Paul
okay.
Crewe. Yep, Adam Sandler's Paul Crewe. Actually, no, we're not gonna take Adam Sandler because it's a remake. We're going to take who played what's his name?
The
Oh,
original longest yard, the guy that's the old
yes.
man that
Yes.
coaches Paul Crewe. What is
Yes.
his name?
I don't even remember.
Just Google longest yard original cast.
And I'm gonna be so mad when I figure it out because Burt Reynolds.
Okay.
Burt freaking Reynolds. I knew it.
Okay, so you're going with
Paul
him?
Crewe. Yeah, Paul Crewe. Burt Reynolds, Paul Crewe, I would take as my number 4.
Okay, so mine is gonna have to be Butch McRae, aka Penny Anthony Hardaway of Blue Chips.
Oh.
Final pick. It's your
Final
hand.
pick. Okay, so I'm not going to say a movie. It is a TV show. Does that count?
Yes, that counts.
Okay.
It's a fictional sports character, so.
All right. Well, with the final pick, Bad Castle.
I should have known you were going Blue Mountain State.
Blue Mountain State, Bad Castle. When it was on Netflix for like 2 seconds, I watched it religiously.
And they did the movie. It was like Thadland or whatever.
The movie was disappointing to say the least. But no, Blue Mountain State is top 5 funniest shows of all time.
Okay. So I'm gonna end my final pick with Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore.
You just gotta tap it in. With the hockey puck, man, that man ain't even taking a golf club. He out here winning the PGA.
Hockey pucking at all.
Hey, you better watch out. I'm gonna pull out that Happy Gilmore screen next time we're at Top Golf.
Listen, I am terrible at Top Golf.
I'll teach you. I'll make you better, I promise.
But I'll go.
All right, guys. Well, thank you. That's all the time we have for today. Quez, my friend, it was great catching up with you. Obviously, we will be in touch soon, my friend.
Oh, I don't quite. Yeah, of course. Of course.
I know. I just got to build some anticipation.
Hey, until next time.
Until next time.